Space and time. Space. The average height of a human being is 162 centimeters, or 5 feet 4 inches. In comparison, the diameter of the Earth is 1.3 billion centimeters, which is 7 million times wider. The Sun, a medium-mass star, is 859 million times wider, and the observable universe is 5.4 times 10 to the 26 times wider. Time. This line represents how long the universe has been here, and that tiny red dot is how long we've been here, for less than 0.002% of the universe's journey. Is it incomprehensible, the numbers that define us as a human race, how we occupy space and time? It's supposed to be. Our brains aren't built, or they're not even able to comprehend the grandeur of the universe to its fullest extent. It's humbling, but it's also comforting to know that both Timothy Chalamet and I can't comprehend the universe around us to its fullest entirety. These numbers may make you think that we, as humans, are somewhat astronomically insignificant. In fact, it's this awareness that separates us from the other residents of this planet. At some point in our lives, a wave of existential dread hits us and tells us that nothing we ever do relative to the scale of the universe will ever have any meaning. This feeling, known as nihilism, can be described as a sense of emptiness and a fear of the unknown. It's not unfamiliar to many ancient philosophers and modern-day thinkers alike, and it can be described as the awareness of one's own insignificance in the grand scheme of things. It's akin to existentialism, a branch of philosophy that ponders our purpose in this vast universe. These elements of doubt and reflection are what drive us as human beings to gaze at the stars and question our place in this vast cosmos. As Carl Sagan poetically put it, the cosmos is all that is, was, or ever will be. I agree with him, and after my freshman year of high school, I took a research internship position at UC Berkeley, studying the universe and all of its subtle, beautiful nuances and complexities. More specifically, anomalous binary star systems. However, my uncertainty about my place in the universe still lingered, like a whisper in the back of my head. I was put into a state of angst as I turned towards standard existentialist and nihilistic literature for any form of avail, which usually helps me in times of distress. Reading is a form of escape, after all. However, my quest started off as fruitless and bleak. I decided to read The Stranger by Albert Camus, a richly existential book that covers, well, the topic of existentialism and nihilism. However, it only worsened whatever was going on up here. Why didn't a book so reputable for dealing with this topic work for others and not work for me? Life is already tumultuous enough as a teenager, with the eternal desire for more sleep, acne, and a high school workload. But it's at this age when we're hit with questions like these that seem to have no definite answer at all. It wasn't until I sat down with Professor Robert Pierre Humbert, a visitor from Oxford, that I started to understand. When I asked him about the sense of astrophysical nihilism, he answered me with a hint of optimism, a perspective I had never thought of before. It took me so long to realize that although we may just be insignificant specks floating around in the cosmos, we've accomplished so much. We've sent humans to the moon and back, and we've sent robots to Mars. We've been able to detect microwave radiation from the edges of what we think is the universe, and we're only getting smarter than our ancestors. So try to think of it as this. Look at the multitudes within yourself and see if you can find an answer then. There. Although you may seem like a tiny speck floating in the vast universe, remember that tiny speck has its own vast inner universe. Space and time. Space. You have more atoms within you than there are stars in the observable universe. And time. You'll live longer than so many other inhabitants of this planet. We even have the gift of consciousness to enjoy it. Might as well be grateful for it. What worked best for me, however, was seeing the world through the eyes of an aspiring astrophysicist. I started reading books by Neil deGrasse Tyson and Stephen Hawking, allowing me to see the world with a more scientific lens. And suddenly, the universe didn't seem so daunting anymore. rather than an abyss of nothingness, it seemed like a realm of hope, with answers to the questions we ask. A place where we, as humans, have a place. We're as much of a part of the universe as the stars and the planets are, except we have the ability to unravel its intricacies and complexities and understand the full beauty of it, if we choose to. But my perspective may align with yours. However, it's the beauty of humanity that we each hold our own unique perspectives, see the world through a subjective lens, and find our own personal meaning in life's experiences. When I started to think about this sense of astrophysical nihilism, I turned towards reading The Stranger by Albert Camus. And that didn't work for me, because I saw the world through a scientific lens. That's what helped me the most. Everyone finds their own answers to the big questions in the places where they feel most at home. For a tennis player, it might be on the court. For a reader, it may be buried somewhere in the pages of Harry Potter. Finding the answers to the big and existentialist questions of life is a journey of self-discovery, a journey that requires patience, but a journey and a quest that helps us understand our own internal perspectives and leads us to where we belong. To find your own subjective purpose, to find your own unique purpose, it's important to ask the questions and find the answers that mean the most to you, to connect to the things in the world that mean the most to you. However, it's crucial to keep in mind what the most important piece of the puzzle is. The true growth is what happens in the journey along the way. The true growth occurs in the experiences. The process of finding your own answers may involve reading books or talking to others who have been through similar experiences. But as I said earlier, remember what the most important piece to the puzzle is. Life isn't just a mystery. It's a reality to experience. Sure, the destination is an amazing experience to reach, but the journey itself is what makes life worthwhile, and the destination is simply a bonus. So as we ponder our place in this vast cosmos, I hope we can come to the realization that all of the atoms in our bodies were once forged in the heart of our stars, the stars in the sky, and that we're all connected to each other in ways that we may never fully understand, and that we're all made of stardust. So even though we may not find the end to the journey, it's the best thing in the universe to be on it. Thank you.